They told you spiritual awakening would bring clarity, peace, and endless joy. They painted a picture of pure bliss, constant elevation, and effortless transcendence. But here you are, doing everything right, meditating daily, affirming your desires, raising your frequency, and somehow your life feels like it's falling apart. You're angrier than before, sadder, more confused. So the question burning in your mind is this: are you broken? Or is there something about this awakening process that nobody's willing to tell you? There's a hidden dimension to spiritual evolution that most teachers conveniently skip over. A territory so uncomfortable, so raw, that it gets buried under motivational quotes and filtered Instagram posts. Today, we're going into that forbidden zone, the part of awakening that looks nothing like enlightenment and everything like a complete breakdown. Get ready to discover why your spiritual crisis might actually be your greatest breakthrough. Before we dive into this truth that's going to reshape everything you thought you knew about consciousness and reality itself, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You're about to access knowledge that most people will never encounter. Insights that will stretch your awareness in ways you didn't know were possible. This channel is for those brave enough to question everything. The mainstream version of spiritual awakening sold to us is shallow at its core. It's a fairy tale where enlightenment is just a destination decorated with light, serenity, and never-ending gratitude. Social media floods us with images of peaceful yogis and uplifting quotes, creating this illusion of frictionless transcendence. There's this obsession with lightness, positivity, and high vibrations, which, don't get me wrong, has its beauty. But the real issue emerges when this one-dimensional view makes us feel broken, guilty, or ashamed of our darker, heavier internal processes. Picture this: you're fully committed to your journey, visualizing your dream life, repeating affirmations, doing the inner work. Then life hits you. Unexpected rage erupts, sadness that won't lift. Ancient fear resurfaces with full force. In that moment, the first thought that crashes in is, am I doing this wrong? Followed by, am I not spiritual enough? If I'm reaching for the light, why am I drowning in so much darkness? This is one of the most painful experiences for spiritual seekers. The frustration of doing everything you're told, but getting zero results. You meditate, you visualize, you hold positive thoughts, but nothing changes. In fact, things sometimes get worse. You crave peace, but your mind is a storm. You're calling in abundance, but scarcity keeps showing up at your door. This creates a paralyzing doubt about whether your practices even work. There's this internal war between what you're supposed to be as an awakened being and the messy, chaotic reality of your actual experience. You want transformation, but all you're getting is confusion. You want elevation, but you feel stuck in quicksand. And the worst part? You start believing you're the problem, that you're somehow spiritually defective or not advanced enough to make this work. This is precisely where ancient wisdom, echoed through Carl Jung's depth psychology, offers us a compass. Jung introduces us to something both fascinating and terrifying: the shadow. The shadow isn't evil incarnate living inside you. It's the collection of everything you've rejected about yourself. Everything society, family, or your own conscious mind labeled as unacceptable or unworthy. These are your deepest fears, your silenced shame, your primal impulses, unprocessed traumas, and suppressed emotions that got shoved into the basement of your unconscious mind out of fear or convenience. This shadow doesn't just disappear. It operates invisibly, pulling strings behind the scenes of your inner world, wielding enormous influence over your choices, your relationships, and critically, your ability to create the reality you want. True awakening isn't an escape from the shadow. It's paradoxically an invitation to embrace it. It takes courage to bring what's hidden into the light, to observe it without judgment, and finally, to integrate it into your wholeness. When you refuse to look at your shadow, it grows stronger in the darkness, manifesting in twisted ways that sabotage your deepest desires. You might visualize your dream house, but your shadow, loaded with scarcity beliefs or unconscious guilt about deserving happiness, finds subtle ways to block that manifestation from materializing. It acts like an invisible anchor, preventing your ship from sailing freely. Consider the famous double-slit experiment, a cornerstone that shook the foundations of quantum physics. The elementary particle, depending on whether it's observed, behaves either as a wave or as a particle. This duality mirrors what's happening in your inner universe. Your shadow, while it remains in the darkness of your unconscious, unobserved, behaves erratically and unpredictably, influencing you without your conscious mind even noticing. It's a field of latent possibilities that only defines itself when you shine the light of awareness on it. But when you consciously observe it, when you illuminate these denied aspects of yourself, you begin exercising a new power of choice over them. You transform them from hidden enemies into aspects that can be understood, integrated, and even used as catalysts for your evolution. This is the true observer effect in action within your psyche. Consciousness as the lighthouse that reveals and reorganizes your internal reality. By recognizing and naming these impulses and fears, you disarm them of their secret power. Now let's dive into the deconstruction phase, a period that many seeking a freer spirituality connected to consciousness experience intensely. Often, these seekers come from religious traditions or social dogmas that once provided structure, but now feel limiting and no longer resonate with their inner truth. This transition is frequently a viscerally painful experience. It's as if the entire matrix of your old beliefs crumbles beneath your feet, leaving you in a vacuum of uncertainty. Your mind, trained to operate within defined parameters, screams for answers. What's actually real now? What can I truly believe in if everything I thought I knew has dissolved? This feeling of helplessness, of being lost between worlds, is genuinely painful for many, generating deep conflict with old beliefs and paralyzing fear of being judged or misunderstood by others. However, this deconstruction is an essential portal to immense and authentic freedom. By questioning the structures that once gave you false security, you're actually deprogramming yourself from a personal simulation theory, from a reality carefully constructed by external and predefined rules. The Hermetic principles, especially the first one, the all is mind, the universe is mental, resonate deeply here. If the universe is mental, then the reality you experience isn't an absolute, unchangeable truth, but rather largely a holographic projection of your own inner universe. Often during this deconstruction phase, you encounter concepts that seem completely absurd to the linear, rational mind. The idea of a multiverse with infinite possibilities, the existence of parallel timelines interweaving with yours, or the proposal that we live in a holographic universe. The rational mind, conditioned to seek logic and predictability, collapses. It screams, "This is pure fantasy, just speculation." It's as if alternative science and quantum physics are suddenly presenting a universe so vast, complex, and multifaceted that the pineal gland itself, that ancestral perceptual portal, seems overloaded, unable to process so much information. The mind desperately tries to make sense of everything, to fit the pieces into a puzzle that doesn't follow the rules it knows. But the new reality, the quantum reality, is more fluid, more malleable than any structure you've ever encountered. The solution to this sensory and mental overload doesn't lie in exhaustive intellectual understanding of every theory or scientific concept. The solution is much deeper and resides in firm anchoring in your own consciousness. Remember, the observer effect isn't a theoretical abstraction that only happens in laboratories. It's a continuous, tangible experience in every moment of your existence. When you become the attentive observer of your own mind, your own emotions, your instinctive reactions, you're not just passively seeing reality. You're actively participating in its formation and collapsing waves of infinite possibilities into your concrete experience. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by all of this? This avalanche of new information, this sensation of being alone on this deconstruction journey, trying to reconcile mind and consciousness with the truths revealing themselves with each new insight. Drop a comment below if you've ever felt this way, lost between what you've been told your whole life and what you truly feel deep in your soul is the truth. Your experience is a beacon for many others walking this same path. The frustration of results that never come, the feeling that I think positive but things go wrong, or the painful experience of I visualized it and lost the car. These are classic symptoms of incomplete understanding of the law of vibration and the co-creation process. Many are taught that you just need to think about something intensely or repeat affirmations, and boom, the universe delivers. But reality is far more complex and subtle. What gets ignored in this simplified equation is that the law of vibration doesn't just respond to your conscious thought. It responds to your integral vibrational state, which includes your emotions, your subconscious beliefs, and yes, your unintegrated shadow. It's a complete orchestra, not a solo performance. Think of your being as a symphony orchestra. Your conscious thought is the conductor trying to lead the most glorious melody you can imagine for your life. It chooses the score of prosperity, health, and love. But if the musicians, representing your deeper emotions, your unconscious fears, your pain memories, your repressed traumas, and your rooted limiting beliefs, are playing a different score, out of tune, the inevitable result will be dissonant cacophony, not the harmonious symphony you desire. Neville Goddard, a revered master of manifestation, always emphasized that feeling is the key to intentional creation. It's not just imagining with your mind, but feeling the reality of your desire as already fulfilled, inhabiting that state of being with every fiber of your body. And how can you fully feel something with total conviction if there's a reservoir of guilt, fear, shame, or unworthiness operating silently in your unconscious, sabotaging every attempt at vibrational elevation? Another profound pain, and perhaps one of the most isolating, is the fear of judgment, the dread of being ridiculed or misinterpreted. Many, upon embracing innovative concepts like quantum physics applied to consciousness, Hermetic philosophies, the law of attraction, or alternative spirituality, are confronted with incomprehension, skepticism, and sometimes open hostility from friends, family, or even their former religious circles. You're going crazy. This is dangerous, demonic stuff. It's witchcraft. You've lost your mind. These are the phrases, loaded with prejudice and ignorance, that haunt and hurt those who dared to question the status quo, who have the courage to look beyond the boundaries of the familiar. The path of awakening, especially when it pulls you out of the matrix of social conventions and others' expectations, can be profoundly lonely. The fear of being judged, of being the black sheep, of being misinterpreted or excluded, is a real and powerful barrier to the full expression of your personal power and to the complete acceptance and living of the new truths you found on your journey. It's a test of your own conviction. Understand, with every fiber of your being, that your journey is singular and absolutely authentic, just as every atom in the vast universe is a unique expression of energy and information. Your awakening experience is non-transferable. Your vibrational signature is unique. The process of individuation, so masterfully described by Carl Jung, isn't the pursuit of conformity to an external standard, a dogma, or a predetermined formula. It's, on the contrary, the relentless pursuit of becoming an individual, an indivisible wholeness, integrating and harmonizing all your parts, including and especially the shadow. Honoring your own truth, your intuition, your perception, even when it radically diverges from others, is the supreme act of spiritual sovereignty and personal power. Here, Stoicism offers a powerful and practical mental tool. Focus energetically on what's under your control. You don't have control over what others think, what they say, or how they judge your choices, but you have absolute control over your reaction to it, over your own perception of reality, and over the unshakable solidity of your internal conviction. Your pineal gland, often referred to as the third eye, or the center of perception and intuition, strengthens and activates to its maximum capacity when you align with your deepest truth, regardless of any external validation. True authority, true power, doesn't come from titles or others' approval. It comes from within, from your soul's resonance with universal truth. Finally, and perhaps the most challenging aspect of the dark face of awakening, we face the paradox of responsibility. If we're co-creators of reality, if the universe is mental, and I'm the observer who collapses the waves of infinite possibilities, then am I personally guilty of everything bad that happens in my life? This is one of the most agonizing, paralyzing, and disempowering questions that can arise on the shadow side of awakening. The idea that I created my illness, I attracted my financial loss, or I'm responsible for this broken relationship can be crushing, leading to a vicious cycle of guilt, self-recrimination, and shame that's completely counterproductive to personal power and effective manifestation. This transforms the idea of being a co-creator into an unbearable burden instead of a divine gift of freedom and creative capacity. Let's recontextualize and reframe this responsibility. It's not guilt, it's not a weight to carry, it's fundamentally power. The holographic universe isn't a judge punishing you for your mistakes. It's a giant, implacable mirror reflecting your internal state, your predominant vibrations or deepest beliefs, and even what's hidden in your shadow. Illness, loss, frustration can be, paradoxically, invitations from your higher self, from your soul, to look more deeply within, to integrate the shadow, to realign your vibration with the frequency of your true essence. The role of the divine, or universal consciousness, or God, in this process is absolutely crucial and fundamental. You're not a solitary co-creator, abandoned to your own devices in an indifferent and cold universe. You're an aspect, an individualized expression, a unique facet of this universal consciousness, or what many call God. You're an integral part of an intelligent, loving, interconnected system that's far greater than your individual perception. Your responsibility is to co-create with the divine, in partnership, in harmony, and not against it in a battle of wills. It's allowing the innate wisdom of the universe, cosmic intelligence, to flow through you, guiding your actions, your intentions, and your thoughts. Your deepest thoughts and feelings are like prayers or vibrational codes you send into the quantum field, and the pineal gland, your intuitive and spiritual center, acts as a powerful antenna that receives and transmits these frequencies, collapsing potential into reality. Imagine yourself as a cosmic artist, painting the masterpiece of your own life on an infinite canvas. You have the blank canvas, potential reality, the field of all possibilities. You have vibrant paints, your pure intentions, your intense emotions, your focused thoughts, and you have brushes, your conscious actions, your daily choices. If you paint with fear, with anger, with guilt, with scarcity beliefs. The picture that manifests reflects those dense and shadowy colors. But if you paint with unconditional love, with unshakable faith, with genuine joy, with deep gratitude, the picture that emerges is a masterpiece of beauty, harmony, and fullness. Quantum immortality, a concept suggesting that consciousness doesn't die but only transforms and shifts between parallel timelines, reminds us there's no final mistake, only continuous learning, experimentation, and evolution. Every choice, every vibration is a stroke on the eternal canvas of your existence. Spiritual awakening, therefore, is a journey of profound internal alchemy, where the raw lead of your imperfections, your deepest fears, and your densest shadows gradually transforms into the pure gold of your true divine essence. It's a process that demands superhuman courage to dive into your own depths, to unmask the illusions of the matrix that imprison you, and to embrace the glorious totality of who you are. It's the science of consciousness in action, the omnipotent power of the observer, exercised not just in the vast and complex external world, but in the vast, mysterious, and limitless universe of your own being. Alan Watts, with his lucid wisdom, reminded us that life isn't a problem to be solved with anxiety and affliction, but a reality to be fully experienced in all its richness and complexity. And this authentic, complete, truly holistic experience includes both the radiant light and the deep shadows, both intrinsic and necessary parts of your completeness and your individuation. By finally understanding and accepting that challenges, pains, and dark nights of the soul are integral and inevitable parts of the awakening process, you free yourself from an immense burden of guilt and fear. You begin to see each obstacle as a divine invitation for greater integration, a precious opportunity to apply the law of vibration more consciously, more purely, and more aligned with your highest purpose. You become not just a positive thinker, but an integrally vibrant being, a co-creator who knows, deep in their soul, that true manifestation and fullness emerge from perfect harmony between all your parts, without exclusions, without denials. The journey may be intense, it may be challenging, but each step taken in the darkness of your shadow reveals a new star, a new path, a new understanding of your own divinity and your unlimited power. Reality, that magical mirror, bends to your deepest perception, and the most powerful perception is the one that embraces the whole, without reservations, without judgments. You've navigated the depths of awakening, unveiling the truths that most avoid. You made it here because your soul yearns for more authentic understanding and true personal power. This is the path of courage, of facing the mirror and recognizing the totality of your being, shadow and light. In this mental universe, you co-create. If you resonate with this journey of self-discovery and want to continue unveiling the mysteries of consciousness and quantum physics, type "I embrace my shadow" in the comments. Your participation strengthens this community of seekers. And remember, we're only beginning to explore the countless possibilities that open up when you understand the true dynamics between your mind, your vibration, and the universe. Click on the next video that appears on your screen to continue your expansion journey. Each video is a step toward new consciousness. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.